Okay, so the winds aloft are down. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over flight planning step by step. I did this in 1080p, so hopefully, let me just copy that, pop it up on the Infinite Flight community. There we go. I don't know if I can make a new topic for this, or let's see. Where am I at? I'll just go ahead and reply to our thread here somewhere. There we go. All right. Flight planning stream. There we go. All right. So to start off with, I keep things in my favorites here. If you'll notice, right? I can't shrink that, but this is my workflow right in here, right? This is my workflow right there, right? So it goes step by step, excuse me, step by step. So it goes one, or I don't really know how to do this or say it, you know. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what's missing in here is iOS notes. Take a minute in here and go to iOS notes, right? And then Infinite FMC would be used for takeoff and landing speeds if necessary, okay? So we're going to focus today on this aspect of it, right? We're going to go from here to here, right? IFR route analyzer, SimBrief, FPL to IF.com, right? And we are off to the races. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a flight here somewhere. I don't know. Let me just pop on my phone and find a random JetBlue flight that's going somewhere today. 558JB, our very own, is just got towed over to what looks to be like gate C26, and it's going to Bermuda. Actually, that's not a good one. The approaches there are rough. Let's see. What do we got here? DCA 121, Boston to PBI. Come on, there's gonna be something here somewhere. Let's do a transcon. Oh wow, they're sending an A320 transcon right now, and 805 JB. So we'll do Boston to we'll do a Boston to LAX flight. You can put in KBOS or BOS, and then you put in LAX. Okay, we're gonna go find routes. All right, so as you can see on the little map here, right, there are this guy down here. Can you see that? Oh, it's going to go. So this United flight is ducking that weather, right? Whereas the other flights over here are going to the north of it, right? So you got JetBlue 287, 487. What's this one? 287. You got American 211. Different altitudes here. And let's see. American, Delta, anything else airborne? So there's different flights, different routes daily, okay? This seems to be, if I'm looking here, it seems to be a more southerly route than normal. So what we're going to do here is, as you can see, there's a frequency down here, right? If I open up another IFR route analyzer, we'll go in here, right? Let's just do Boston to PBI. That's going to be in our manual, right? PBI. So, as you can see here, right? 20 routes filed with this particular route, right? There's one about to take off right now, so there's nothing airborne. But you can see here, JetBlue 121, which is actually taxiing as we speak, filed this route. And almost all of them are the same, just slightly different wording. Matter of fact, they have not filed the inland route in quite a few days. But you want to generally go on a shorter route, you want to go with the frequency. On a longer route like LA, you want to go with what they're using on that particular day. Now, the winds aloft and infinite flight are down right now, but this wouldn't matter, okay? Now, if I go down here, here's a route right here, Highland 5. You'll see that on the map, that's a more northerly route than they were taking, right? Today, they're going more southerly. So you see Iowa there, right? If I go to, how do I do this one? If I go to the World VFR, can't really see the states, but you see it goes over Lake Michigan, and today, they're not coming anywhere near that. They're going to the south of that. They're actually filing via Blazer and coming down through Pennsylvania to get there. So what you want to do is go down here, right? So JetBlue 487. Of course, my phone's gonna ring. Looks like almost everybody's doing the Blazer, and then some of them are doing the Hollywood one, and some of them are doing the Angel 4. So let's take the JetBlue flight, which looks like it's coming through on the Angel 4 via De Niro. So let's copy this plan here. Okay, so you copy your plan, right? Again, this is a longer route, so the wind really matters for you, right? So you want to see what the most recent flights, so see Delta 1811, they're furthest out here, so they filed back this way, right? An American 2455, right? 2455 filed De Niro Angel 4, whereas Delta 1811 filed Blazer 4. I usually take the JetBlue flight or the most recent flight. It's up to you, right? You can see what the distance is in nautical miles here. Obviously, the De Niro Angel 4 is a little bit shorter, so that's what we're gonna use here, right? So we'll copy this JetBlue plan, and what we'll do now, open up a new tab. We're gonna go to simbrief.com, right? So select your flight on the IFR route analyzer, and then copy that because you're going to need it, right? Just in case. So come into SimBrief. Let me back up a little bit. You can create an account. Come into SimBrief. I've debated making a VA account that everybody can access, or that a VA account where we have all of our flights saved, and discussing it over with the rest of the leadership team. So you come in, you hit dispatch system, then you hit create new flight, right? And you're going to start at the top, right? Flight info. So we've got JBU, and the next flight out to LA from Boston. I'm just going to search the next. It should be 5. I would assume it's 587. Looks like it's going to be 687 would be the next one, potentially. Today is the 3rd, 345. Okay. So, oh, wrong thing. So JBU 687. Departing KBOS, arriving KLAX. It's probably going to put in Ontario for an alternate. Yep. That's okay. 200-mile alternate is standard, right? So you punch those in. One thing I should have said previous. Over here in selections, you want to do JBU, pounds, contingency fuel. This is a default setting, so you can add contingency fuel here as default, or you can add extra fuel down here, right? You want 60 minutes reserve. That's the JetBlue requirement. FAA is The FAA is 45. JetBlue ups that to 60. Okay, so for this flight, because it's a longer flight, I am going to hit planned step climbs. Okay, so I've got the basics in here. The most important thing for your V speeds is your runway analysis. Okay, the 8321 is a little bit broken right now. The fuel burn is usually minus 26. But with the way it's been acting lately, pitching up and down at slow speeds and coming close to stalls, I'm just going to use this with the A320 for this particular exercise, okay? So I'm going to go 558 JB, boom. It's going to automatically fill in A320, and the fuel factor is minus 15. Now I'm going to try to pop up on the screen here my plan from yesterday. We did as you can see, we're building out the manual here. So just want to show you something real quick. So on that minus 15 performance factor, this was the flight from the stream I did yesterday. So it said the burn would be 2.2, the reserve was 4.3, minimum takeoff was 10.3, taxi out was 200, and then estimated fuel on board. Notice that when we arrived at the gate, estimated fuel on board should have been 8.1. Okay, so I am going to just pop up here and let's take a look. Starting fuel is 10.5, taxi from gate was 300, en route was 2, taxi to gate was 100, and look at that, fuel remaining, or FOB, was 8.1. So that minus 15 is remarkably accurate, okay? We'll have to see what happens the next update, what they do with the A321, but it is a little bit off at the moment. So a loaded A320 going to the West Coast would definitely be heavy, okay? So the next thing you want to do here is you want to do a cruise profile. We don't pay for the gas. We cruise at Mach 0.80. All you have to do is change that. That's all you got to do in advanced aircraft options. It should auto-populate. I'll show you guys how to do in another video. I'll show you guys how to edit the aircraft in your SimBrief profile. Now we want to come down here, right? And we want to paste in our route. So you can see that it does have the Blazer, but it's taking us further south for the Hollywood one. Where is it this one that I use? Nope, not that one. I usually use a different map here. Don't I? Layers. Is that the map I use? I guess that's the map I use. Anyways, we can take a look at the winds. Yeah, see the winds to the north are a little bit more. I don't know if you can, sometimes you can, some of them you can tap on the wind barbs and see what the wind is. So obviously we see why they're going south today, because the winds are pretty bad, and obviously significant weather, right? So they're trying to get above these. So those are 48,000 feet at the tops to 50,000 feet, and they're ducking that jet stream that's right in here, right? So that's why they're not going up over Lake Michigan, right? They're coming down. And I would bet you they'd even reroute from Tulsa. They might even reroute a little bit more to the north, right? So that's what we're going to look at right now. So we can't fly through that CB. So let's see if this one works, right? Look at that. Pasted in our route, right? We pasted in our route. And now we're avoiding the weather and we're avoiding the worst of the headwinds, okay? So you paste in your route, and there's that, okay? Once your route is in, take a look at your runways. So currently in Boston, and you can just press up here and see what the wind is, 060 at 12, so 04 right for a loaded A320. They need, I was plane spotting this morning, The heavy A321s and A320s were coming off of 4 right, as well as the Alaska 739 and the United 739 that were going to LA. Arrival runway is going to be 25 left, not 25 right. We're going to leave altitude in auto because it's going to plan some step climbs for us. SimBrief is pretty smart. It'll put you at the right altitude to duck some winds. So, zero fuel weight is the only thing you want to adjust here, okay? I'm going to run through this one more time. I'll adjust the zero fuel weight. Let's load it right up because that A321 went maintenance. And we'll say we got 136.5. That's a pretty heavy A320. Our max zero fuel weight's 139. Okay. You don't have to touch passengers and cargo. That's okay. You just want to get the zero fuel weight set. That's the easiest way to do it. My AIRAC is current. We've got departure and arrival runways. Taxi out, probably going to be 10 minutes. Taxi in could be 15, depending on how far down 25 left you roll. Right? So let's just review. You fill in flight info at the top, right? Hopefully you've got your selections on the right-hand side here already taken care of, right? You pick your airframe, change your cruise profile, double check that your fuel factor is correct. Then you come down, paste your route in, analyze your route. It'll say that it's valid, right? Adjust your taxi times if you think you're going to be slower or faster. 15 minutes of taxi is 300 pounds of fuel. So 100 pounds every 5 minutes at taxi speed. If you think you're going to need some extra fuel for an event, you can do that here, or you can do that up here. But usually we're pretty good with the 60-minute reserve plus the alternate. Okay, so 136.5. If you're going to plan step climbs, you can click that here. I don't save that as default normally because I will check what altitude a flight is at on Flight Radar. Say I was going down to Palm Beach from Boston, I would just check what the most recent flight used and use that altitude. The other day we cruised at like, what do we do? 320 because the winds were more favorable at 320 than they were up a little higher, right? So once that's all done, you can actually, we're required one alternate. And if I zoom in here, take the SIGWEX and the wind barbs off, it's got the flight plan to Ontario. It should just be direct. So it's direct Ontario. You can analyze that. It's 41 miles. You could theoretically even put San Diego as an alternate, I think. But we'll just leave it with Ontario, right? If you'd like to pick a different alternate, feel free. Okay, so I adjusted my taxi time. We're ready to go. We're ready to do it, right? So again, 1, flight info. 2, aircraft type, right? Once that aircraft type's in there, advanced aircraft options, change it from cost index to Mach 0.80. Double check that your fuel factor for an A320 is minus 15. Check your departure and arrival runways. Check your taxi times. Adjust your zero fuel weight. Double check that your route's analyzed and you're ready to go, right? You can check on the map too. Take a look at the weather and the wind as we've done down here. All right, so let's just take one more look. SIGWEX. Make sure you're not flying through anything crazy. And wind barbs, there we go. And you can actually, so 1200 Zulu, so we can do 1800 Zulu. See what the wind's going to change. We can go up to 39,000. Pretty much the same. Okay, so now we're ready to generate the operational flight plan. So you come back up and you click, you can actually, in the meantime, you can click Save Flight and save it for later. Then you click Generate OFP. Yes. It's going to generate a briefing package for us. Takes a few seconds while it builds the detailed maps. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Should cook just in a second, redirecting the output. All right, so now you've got a briefing, okay? This is your briefing here. So we've got JetBlue 687, A320, call sign JBU 687, origin, Boston, destination, Los Angeles, alternates, Ontario, cruise and flight level 320 initially. What happened here? Oh, see this? Max takeoff weight. Okay, so we can only take 133,659. So we're weight limited on this. See this? This is a good example. So 133.7 on the fuel. We're going to need 38,522 pounds of fuel. Our route is here. And the dispatcher remarks that the payload and cargo is limited by the maximum takeoff weight, which we're going to be at max takeoff weight on the way out. Should actually I might try to run that on a separate stream and see what we need for power. So double check here, right? So we're good to go. If you're doing a group flight with a couple of guys on a couple of other pilots, just take a screenshot of this. You can crop it down so that the guys know, okay, here's my fuel, right? Here's my zero fuel weight. Hey, we're limited today. Takeoff weight, we're expected to be 6 hours, 15 minutes, block to block. Starting out flight level 320. And set to go. And then you just send that to the Slack, right? Then the next thing you would do, right? And we are in this, see this here? We will be stepping up to 340 and 360 along the way, okay? So with that being done, the next thing you want to do is you want to get an infinite flight ready flight plan. So you're going to open up flight plan to infiniteflight.com. I'm just going to do this, okay? So we want to go SimBrief Classic, okay? And then how we do this is we scroll down to the bottom here. See, these are all flight plans that you could put into, PMDG, Majestic, Level D, Airbus, IVAO, VATSIM, right? So we are concerned with the XML data file, which is on the bottom, right? So we're going to highlight, of course, now, where did it go? Highlight that XML data file, hit copy, come over to SimBrief Classic. It's on the left-hand side, SimBrief Classic on FPL to IF, and you want to hit paste, generate. This is going to give us a route string for infinite flight. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my notes app. Or not. What's going on here? Oh, I haven't opened it since the update. That's there. There we go. I thought you could okay. Thought you could do a split screen here. Anyways, hit copy. Go ahead, paste that into a note. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double check the charts, okay? One more thing you want to do is get your dispatch. See this button here, print view PDF? So go ahead and hit print view PDF. This is going to have some stuff on it here. You can actually print this if you like. Keep it on you. It's usually, depending on how long the route is, it's 20-something pages. As short as like 5 to 10, depending if you have the NOTAMs. So we'll go over that in a second. So what we want to do here, after copying it, is we want to check the charts, right? So I go to Charts, Cloud, and Navigraph. And what the cool thing is, paying excuse me, paying the, I think it's $8, something like that. The cool thing about this is, right, it's kind of like ForeFlight for charts. So if I go ahead here and hit flights, hit new flight from SimBrief, it automatically knows where I'm going, right? How cool is that? See how it's kind of like, you know, you can kind of go through here and see it's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? ForeFlight. So, origin, right? Departures is 10. We're on the Blazer 4, and we're going to be off 4 right. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this chart in windowed mode, right? Go ahead and pin that chart down the bottom, right? We know we're coming off runway 4, so we want to double check here, 4 right. So we go Nahant, Herbie, 4,000 or above, or Chowder, Steam, Dedham, Blazer. So we double check here. Nahant, Herbie, or Chowder, Steam, Dedham, Blazer. And then en route. So that's good. So we can get out of that chart, right? It's pinned, obviously. Cool thing about Navigraph charts is see how this this purple stuff here? Now, if you hit the overlay, it'll actually show you it on the map and highlight your route. So we know that that's correct, right? Come down here. We know that we're going to do the Angel 4 off of Dinero. So let's pop that chart up in windowed mode. And we'll pin it down the bottom here. So we're going Dinero, Sellers, Flojo, Sally, Gleason, Angel, Khan, Boyle, Circus. And there's some restrictions there. So we'll brief that on the arrival. But that's all set, right? At Circus, expect ILS or RNAV RNP runway 25 left approach. So that means we can get out of this chart and then we can do approaches. We slide down here, approaches. We can look for the ILS 25 left from Circus. And that actually adds it to our route. We can show the chart windowed or show the chart overlay where it looks like that, right? So from Circus, we go Crane, Tarok, Demo, Fueler, Honda, Gate, Crane, Tarok, Demo, Fueler, Gate, Honda, Lima, Ladle, LAX. All right, so go back to windowed mode. Go ahead and pin that. Now this is what we got to add here. From Circus, we need to add the approach into LA. So what I'm going to do is pull up the note right here. So Honda can stay there. FPL to IF automatically adds like a waypoint that's a runway, fixed on the runway, right? On an approach to the airport. As you can see, Honda here is 3,600. It's right before the platform altitude at Lima, which is 1,900. So we can do Circus. Then we go Crane, Tarok, Demo, Fueler, F-U-E-L-R, Gate, Honda, and we can slide over here, Lima, Ladle, KLAX. Now the other two things you can do is right after KBOS and right before KLAX, you can add in the runway fix, the R blank, 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 the R number, right? I think on 4 right, landing 4 right, it's R3110, and coming in on 22 left, which is the other end of 4 right. Oh, I can't remember. But basically, it's that runway fix. You can add those for posterity, or if you got to do an ILS or a low vis landing, you'll kind of want to have your autopilot ready to go up to minimums. So, with that being done, what we can do now is pop into infinite flight, right? So we've got our flight planned. We've got everything copied, ready to go. The last thing I would do with the SimBrief charts is go KBoss, open the charts list, and let's see, taxi. So let's pin the taxi chart, right? And yep, so let's pin that taxi chart. Airport info is the taxi chart, by the way. They won't show this in like the overlay, right? So we'll be at terminal C here on the inset, taxiing down to 4 right. And it's usually Alpha Bravo, all the way around to 4 right. Sometimes they'll put you up on Mike 1, but not usually when you need the whole runway. And then we could do the same for LAX, open charts list, and go airport info, and let's just see. That should be LA. That's not LA. LAX, open charts list. There we go. Taxi. You can do taxi routings and airport info. All right. Taxi routes it's text, so you want to do that. But airport info. So we're gonna be landing 25 left. We just take a look. You want to have these handy for later on in the flight, right? So now we're ready to go on ahead into infinite flight, and we'll discuss this stuff in the SimBrief flight plan in another stream, right? But that's how you get the flight plan. That's how you get the route string, right? You got to do a little work to make sure the SID and the star are correct on it. And if you notice this waypoint here, the 4155 north, 7315, that's going to be our top of climb. And that's important for in-flight assistant VNAV and calculating out how much vertical speed you need once you're above 10,000 feet. How much vertical speed do you need to get up to your flight level? So that is the flight planning step by step. Once you have all this done, you're ready to jump into infinite flight and take everything that you've done and put it into practice. We will be doing a manual on this, right? We're going to set up a manual PDF kind of booklet to show you guys how to do this. It's going to have all kinds of screenshots on it. It's going to tell you what to share. The last thing, I think I said it before, but you want to share this to the Slack so guys can save the PDF on their phones or their device so that they know, where to step climb, what to do, right? And that is the flight planning step by step. IFR route analyzer into SimBrief, run all your SimBrief numbers, get your PDF, copy that XML, then you go from SimBrief to FPL to IF.com, right? Copy that, add your approach, right? Set up your charts. If you're not using Navigraph charts, you can use FlightAware charts. You can use airnav.com, has a lot of good charts. Or you can search and see if you can find the Jeppesen charts for your route. I cannot recommend this enough, Navigraph charts. So with the AirAx cycle for SimBrief, which you can see mine is updated here, right? 1910, and it should be updating tomorrow or the next day. Should be 1911. So it's about $8 or $9 a month, and it's great because you see this your whole route. Maybe they might be able to do. So this is a moving map. This will, I believe, connect to. See how it says moving map? This will connect to desktop sims, but doesn't quite connect to Infinite Flight yet. Oop, cancel. So thanks for tuning into the flight planning stream. The next stream we're going to do, I'll do it right now, is a setup on the ground stream. It's pretty simple. It's going to be a lot shorter than the flight planning. I took my time on this one because I really wanted to just go through everything and kind of repeat so that you guys can get it down and learn the real way to do things. Now, let me go. I don't like to stop it from there. Let me go back here.